Hi there, this is Jeff, and I'm going to walk you through how to get the artwork ready for the 10-foot wide by 8-foot tall Triga Straight Wall display with curved ends. And by the time we're done with this video, you're going to have a really good idea of how to get the artwork ready so that it fits the template well and that it prints out correct. So what I do is I use Photoshop, and I literally just drag the PDF template into Photoshop. And once that's opened up, you just want to check a couple things before you get started. The first one is you want to make sure that's in CMYK color mode. So you can see right here it is. If it's not for some reason, you can go to image mode and convert over to the CMYK. The next thing you want to do is check the resolution. So it should be at 125 dpi because we're printing this out at 100%. So 125, and we can check that by going to image size, and under the resolution here, you can see there's 125. So once you have those two things in place, we're good to get started here. And you'll notice obviously that there's different colors on the template, and they all mean different things. So to start with, the very outside band here, this red area, denotes the bleed space. So that's an area where you do want to go ahead and, if you have like a background color or design, like let's say camouflage, you want to go ahead and extend that all the way to the very outer edge so that it prints out, but it's going to get cut and stitched and sewn along that area. So it's okay to have a background there, but you don't want any important information like logos, text, or anything like that. The next area here, this yellow, is going to be visible, but it's going to be visible more on the sides because this is going to be an area on the left and on the right where the display actually curves. Now, if you're doing a straight wall display with non-curved ends or straight ends, then this won't matter. But for the most part, most people do. And so you want to make sure that if you do have anything in this area, that it's not going to be like text. You don't want the text running off the page to the left or to the right. Okay, so then that brings up the orange. The orange is just essentially a visible area that will be on the front, but it is kind of close to the edge. And so for visible reasons, you don't want any of the logos or any important information like web addresses or phone numbers to be super close to the edge. So the orange will be printed out and it will be visible once the display is put up. But it's recommended that everything like that stay in the green. So the green brings us to the last color, which is going to be the area that it's okay to put all your text, any important information, logos, pictures, anything like that you want more of a centered image so that it's right in front of people. It's not, too close to the edge or running off the sides. So from here, I'm going to show you an example of some artwork that fits the template really well, and this will help give you an idea of what we're looking for. Okay, so here is an example of some artwork that fits the template really well. And I know that because if I click on the artwork layer and I right click and I go to blending options, I can change the opacity so that I can see the template right underneath it. So this is important to point out because you really do want to create your artwork literally right on top of this template. Just keep it its own separate layer because in the end what you're going to do is you're going to either hide it or delete it. But that's what you're going to want to do is just go to File and Place, and you can begin adding in all your pictures, your background, your logos, your text, everything, and design right on top of the template. That way you know that your proportions are going to be right and everything's going to turn out really well. So last thing we're going to do before we get ready to save it is we're going to double check to make sure that the resolution of all of our artwork looks good and we know it's going to print out well. And the way that you do that on a PC, you're going to want to check for a Mac, but what you want to do is press Control and plus, kind of tap in, and you want to get to where about 1 inch equals 1 inch on the screen. So here you can see here's 60 inches, here's 61 inches, and that's about 1 inch in real life. And then we can use our navigator tool over here and we can start to comb around. So this is really helpful. It allows us to look at the resolution and see if there's any pixelation. Like here you can see that the logo looks really crisp. The pictures look good. And once we've combed around and everything looks great, we can press Control and minus and zoom back out. So now the final step before we save is you're going to want to Well, for one, save a copy of the working layered file. So if you do need to make any edits now or in the future, you can, as long as you have that copy of the working layered file. So you can go ahead and do that now. So now we're ready to go ahead and delete the template layer. You can either hide it or just altogether delete it like I do. And then the next step is you're going to go to layer and then flatten. So this is going to go ahead and compress everything together so that we have our print ready file. It's already full size. We know it fits the template well since we already looked at it, and our resolution is really good. So at this point, what you can do is you can go to File and then just go to Save As. And you're going to want to go ahead and save it as a PDF if it lets you. On a lot of computers, if it gets too big of a file, it won't let you save it as a PDF anymore. But if it does, go ahead and save it as a PDF. And if it doesn't, go ahead and save it as a .psb file, which is kind of a large document file type for Photoshop. And that should be good. So if you do have any questions, obviously feel free to ask, leave some notes and comments, and I'll talk to you soon.